That's it. So if of, in the if condition, the first, this entire one is the expression, 3 parameters, right? So one parameter 1, parameter 2, parameter 3. So parameter 1 I am checking if it is new, is a new record, and the weight is less than or equal to 0. So this is another validation rule I created it. So if weight should not be less than 0, the mobile phone weight definitely should be greater than 0. If it is less than or equal to 0 and it's a new function, then it should become true. If for the existing record, if you update it, no, I should not fire it. If, for example, there is a scenario, then we can avoid it by using useNew operator, means useNew function. Okay. And a few functions like you want to check multi-select pick list value. So if it is any single pick list value, a single string value or text value, then we can directly check it over here. For example, you want to check some status equal to active, then only it should fire. Then what you can do, some text field, assume this is a text field, then status underscore c double equal to some status, so open or close, like this. Okay, directly we can check it. If the status is a pick list field, then you cannot write it like this. What will happen if you write it? It will throw a message, invalid function, or you can't check the pick list value, something like a message you will get it. So pick list values we have to check is pick val of. There is a function. See, is pick val checks whether the value of a pick list field is equal to a string literal or not. So the pick list field and what with what text literal or what string literal you are comparing. Okay, so if you select here is pick val of. So what is the pick list value? That pick list field you will get here, and with what text you are comparing. Open text. So this is one function you can check only with pick list values. The same way for multi-select pick list, multiple values will be there, right? So we have to use includes for multi-select pick list. So that's why I said just at least go through this function once. Why? Because this area you are going to use the same formula editor in formula fields, validation rules, workflows, and today concept. What is it? Approval process. Even there also you will use the same editor. Okay. Yeah. The next concept is workflows we discussed yesterday. So workflows are those automated business concepts, like whenever a particular criteria met, then we want to perform some action, then we go for workflows. So that particular criteria may be any criteria, like whenever any new deal is with sales rep made a new deal with which is having a large amount, then send some notifications, or like whenever any new record is created or any record is updated, you can give any criteria. So for a particular criteria met, then we want to perform some actions. So what are those actions? Actions are creating a task, sending an email alert, updating a field, and sending some OBM. OBM means outbound messages, sending an outbound messages to the external system. So these are 4 actions you can perform. And out of these we have seen yesterday that OBM we can't see it because we need a real-time endpoint URL, but concept is the request will go to the external system. Only the request will go, no response back. The request is in the form of a SOAP format. Okay, so that's what we discussed yesterday. Hi Sudhir.
Hi, Professor Prakash.
Good evening, Sudhir. Yeah, how are you doing, man? What happened? Any
Yeah,
problem?
having problem with my laptop, so I don't know.
Okay, fine. That's what I messaged you. What happened? Is there an issue? Okay.
Last night we'll be sleeping now, so
Fine. No problem. So we discussed yesterday about validation rules and workflows, Sudhir. So you
okay.
can just go through the video.
Yeah, I have done on those parts. Workflow, I have worked on that.
Oh, okay, fine. So because today's concept is similar to that, no? So if you understand the workflows, then those are very easy
Oh.
validation rules.
And what about the day before yesterday's video, Prakash? Have you uploaded it or have to upload?
Uh, Day before yesterday, no, we have
Yesterday's?
class from yesterday's onwards. Monday, Tuesday. Yes, yes, I have uploaded, right? I have uploaded.
Okay. I'll have a look at it.
No, I have uploaded. Just check it once and let me know in case. I have uploaded because
Yesterday's one is there. Yesterday's one is there in the books, I think.
day
Day
before
before.
shows I uploaded. That's the
On on
formulas.
on the ninth class, February 9th class.
I will check it and get back to you, Sudhir,
Okay.
because I used to forgot. Okay, but in case I have not uploaded, I will try to arrange it. Not a problem.
Okay.
Yeah. Hmm. Yes, that's about the workflow. So workflow contains some criteria. So for which criteria that should be run and what are the actions. So there is another concept called the time-dependent workflow. So what is meant by time-dependent workflow? We'll see that and then we'll proceed for the next concept. Yes. So under create workflows, workflow rules. So time-dependent workflows are the future workflows. Generally, when the workflow will fire, whenever a criteria met, whatever criteria you have given, right? If that criteria is satisfied, then immediately action will be performed. Okay. So the criteria are like whenever you created a record with status equal to so and so, we will give some condition, and if that condition is satisfied, then immediately the workflow will fire. All right. But there is another one, so we'll see here. Yes. Yes. So evaluation criteria, when it should the workflow should be evaluated, and then what is the rule criteria. So once this rule criteria becomes true, then immediate actions will be performed, whatever actions you have given. So if you give true means always this actions will be fired. So there is another one called time dependent workflow. Time dependent workflow means workflow should not fire immediately and future time it should fire. Right now it should get evaluated and everything rule criteria is evaluated and then the now it's ready to fire, but it won't fire. The action will be performed in the future time. That is the only thing. So until that, what will happen? Until that, the action it will keep in some log, some job. Basically, it will store in some future job. So at future time, whatever time you have to mention, at future time, the job will be executed. That is the only difference. Whereas workflows, normal workflow will fire immediately. Time dependent workflows will not fire immediately, it will fire in future time. Maybe the best example is, say you have created one case with some company or like some customer some case, like you have an issue, you created a case for some banking company. So there is a bank, you want to check some money was deposited or withdrawn unknowingly, so without knowing you, so you want to check about it. So you created a ticket for it, there's a case for it. Now, sales rep, whatever the customer people for the bank, they will come and contact you. What was happening? Is there any issue? So they have to resolve the issue as soon as possible. So first time when they raise a ticket, they might have given in time like within 74 hours, the ticket will be resolved, or for I will do one thing within a week. Okay, within a week they have to resolve the issue. That is the maximum time. Okay, so what should happen in the within 3 days they should be contact according to their business strategy. Somebody needs to contact you generally. If nobody contacted and the ticket status is still it is in open, okay, then just before 2 days the expiry, that means on 5th day you should send a notification email to higher people, like higher role people, mentioning, hey, nobody change the status of the ticket to in progress, still it is in open. So once you assign the ticket to customer support people, once he took the ticket, he will change the status to in progress. That means somebody is working on it. So if the status is still in open even after 5 days, then immediately an email should go to some higher level people, like some customer managers, customer support managers. So you have to configure it. So when this mail should go? After 5 days. That means in a future day, future time, not immediately. Okay, so this is called as a time dependent workflow. So based upon the time, workflow will fire. So little complex to understand. So how to do that? So the time dependent workflow is available just below the actions, like normal actions and time dependent actions. Two different types of actions are there. So for the same workflow, you can create two email alerts, one as a normal email alert and one is a time dependent email alert. Okay, see here. And you want to create a time dependent workflow, first deactivate it, then go here under workflow actions. You can see here there is a add time trigger button. So these are the time dependent workflow actions, normal actions. This is time dependent actions here. So you just start clicking it. Remaining procedure is similar. Whatever you will do in the workflow the same way. But the only thing here is you have to set the time when it should fire this time dependent workflow. So just before the close date of the ticket, just 2 days before the close date of the ticket, or after 5 days of the rule trigger date. So you can take any scenario. So in our case, when this mail should go after 5 days of the ticket created. Today ticket created, for 5 days nobody contacted, then send an email to higher row. Right? So what you have to do here, let's give an example. 5 days after rule trigger date. Rule, it will trigger today, but the workflow action will be performed after 5 days. Okay, let's save it. So this is time dependent workflow. And what are the options? Again, what field we want to be updated, we want to send an email, this is remaining similar. Okay, so today the workflow will the workflow will be evaluated to true, but the action will perform in the future time. That is the only difference. Okay, so one important step over here is you cannot select the time dependent workflow for all the criterias, for all the evaluation criteria. You can only select few criterias. What are the criterias? Either you can select first time it is created record, that workflow is there based on the created scenario, then you can add a time dependent workflow. But for created and anytime it subsequently meet criteria, for even this criteria also you can add time dependent workflow. But second criteria is there, right? So for this criteria you cannot add a time dependent workflow created and every time it's edited. There is a reason. Why? Because so whenever created, yes, first time it is created today, and then after 5 days it should get fired, right? So today is 11th for me. So exactly after 5 days means 16 it will fire. So I can easily count it. But if I select the second option, created and every time it's edited. For example, today it's created, then one workflow, time dependent workflow will be there as a job, so it will get executed on 16. But after that, on 30th day, again I have modified the record. I in the sense like whoever created, they have modified date record. Then what will happen from 13th to again 5 days you have to calculate, right? So when it will go 18. Then what will happen to the 16th day job? It's supposed to get executed on 16th. So it's a contradiction over here. So that's why for each time created and updated, you cannot create a time dependent workflow. So you can create time dependent workflows only for the first time creation records, only for created criteria. Another criteria is created and subsequently meet the criteria. So subsequently meet the criteria means not meeting the criteria to the meeting criteria. In that case, the time dependent workflow will work. That is the only point we have noted down here. So very less chances time dependent workflow. It's not like so frequently used concept. But interview perspective, people may ask some questions. Why we cannot choose this option? What is the reason? The reason is this one. So first time, if you give created and every time it's edited, so you don't know when they will edit. They may edit each and every day. Then how can you set for what day it should fire? Created means fixed one. If you create today, then nothing will happen. It will be there. So from that day onwards, it will calculate. But if you every day it's updating, when it should get fired, the future date will be changing every day, right? So which is a contradiction. So you cannot achieve it. That is about time dependent workflow. The third one is approval process, which we are going to discuss today. So approval process is there over here, workflows and approvals, right? In the same place you have approval process. We'll just give you some overview about approval process. What is the purpose? So generally approval process in real time you have seen, right? Whenever when you are claiming for some approvals from your manager, what will happen? You will submit some reimbursement record or reimbursement. Submit any record. Then what will happen? After submitting, you have to send it for approval. Then they might have configured it, or the authorized persons will receive some request regarding this approval. Then that approver, he may approve the record or reject the record. Approve or reject. So if approves, then what should happen? If he rejects, what should happen? So you have to configure everything. If there are multi-level approvals, then you can configure, you can assign multiple levels like approver 1, and if he approves the record, then what should happen? It should go to the approver 2 again, and approver 2 also approves. Then finally the record is getting approved, it will get approved. Then once he is approved, final approval, you will get some notification, hey, your reimbursement is approved. It will take some time to get the money, some message you will get finally. Same process you can even achieve in Salesforce. Okay, so now what we can do, we can, for example, I will take another object. Those objects you don't have, but try to understand the concept. There are some custom objects. So position, candidate, and job application is there. So position means if there is any new position in a company, HR people, they create a new position generally, right? So when they create a new position, the condition is they can create any position, but the only thing is the minimum pay, maximum pay should be within that range. For example, minimum pay, maximum pay is 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs, just example for a position. If he tries to create any position which is the maximum pay greater than 10 lakhs, this is 15 lakhs job position. So if he tries to create any job position with maximum pay as 15 lakhs, then what should happen? It should get approval from some manager, some senior level HRs. Okay, because the HR cannot create like however she wants. If there is any position with so much salary, very maximum salary or some high salary, then that position should get it approval. Okay, then only that position will be available for the end users or employees who wants to join. This is the scenario. Okay, now we can go and create an approval process on position object. You can consider anyone, not only this one. So basically having some amounts or like some integer, based upon that you can write anyone. For easier understanding purpose, I am explaining this one. So on whichever object you want to create an approval process, go and select that object over here first. So there's so much notes is over here, you can go through if you have time. Now on which object, select the object name. So the object name is Java application, right? Or new position. Yes, position object. Once you select the object, if already available, it will be displayed. If not, you can start creating a new one. Okay, if it's already there, so 2 is available. I will just deactivate it. But not a problem, you can still create a new one. So two ways we can create it, whether you can using Jumpstart Wizard or standard setup wizard. So both are similar, but the only thing is you can reduce some number of steps. So if you go for one procedure, all the steps you can see in one page only. But if you go for another procedure, multiple pages you have to fill it. Next, you have to click multiple next. Okay, I will go for Jumpstart Wizard so that you can do it fastly. Anyone is fine. Yes. See here you have to give some approval process name. Any name you can give. Here, so you can select like first time when you assign it, that template you want to create any template first time. Whenever you assign by default, there will be some template will go. So you want to give any specific template, you can create the email template separately and you can use it over here. So more number of templates are there, you can refer each and every places. If you don't have any templates more, just leave it. You can use the standard templates. Standard templates means Salesforce will send you some template by default. Here, this is some that approval history layout list all the position page load. So there is an option where you can go and display some sections. Okay, you want to display the same sections, yes, go and select it. That approval history, what was happening, everything. Here, who needs to approve? So there is approver field of position owner. So you want to use the position owner as the approver, then you can select this one. But no, I don't want to use this. I want to create my own approver at last, so just leave it now. This is again familiar formula editor. What record should go for approval? It's not like each and every record. If each and every record should go, then just give true here. No, only records with maximum salary or minimum salary, whatever the maximum salary is greater than so on so on. Then go and select it here. Yes, maximum pay greater than some amount. You can give how much amount you want. 20 lakhs as example. 20 lakhs. So if the position is greater than 20 lakhs, then definitely you should go for approval. So this is the entry criteria. So if the record comes here, it will check whether the current record satisfies this condition. Yes, it is satisfies, then it will undergo for approval process. If it fails, then it won't go. Now the third step is who will be the approver. Now this is the place where you have to select the approver. I have 4 options. Let the submitter choose the approver manually. So once you created a position record, you will get an option here, submit for approval, something just below. The related list, you will get a button, submit for approval. So once you click the submit for approval, it will go for approval process. That means user has to initiate the process. It's not like as long as the record is created, how the workflows will fire, it won't fire immediately, the approval process. Approval process you have to initiate manually. There is no other way. So while submitting for approval, even that user also can choose the approver manually. If you select it, he will select. No, I don't want to give the chance to him. It should automatically go to some user. So automatically approves an approver using a standard or custom hierarchy. So generally, if you are an employee, automatically it should go for your hierarchy level who is on top of you, you should go to him. Then you can select this option. So definitely there will be some user field, some manager field or some field will be there on the user object. If not, you have to create it and you have to configure that field over here. Now it should go to some queue because some set of people may take it. Queues are nothing but public groups. It's similar to public group. The only difference is public group can be used in many places. Public group is a combination of multiple groups, again different combinations, criteria. But whereas queues are only users, that user purpose is that queue user can dedicatedly work for only one object. While creating a queue, you have to select the users. These users are belongs to, they are going to work on a particular object. Where you will get the queues here. Manage users queues. Public groups here, just below public group queues. Concept wise similar, but the public group we can use in many places. And the public group is not a similar type. It's a combination of multiple types, combination of role users, combination of users and public groups, right? But queues are not like that. So queues are allows users to manage a, see here, queue name. Here you can select some object. On what object these users are going to work. So you can select some users. So for example, you want to create a queue who wants to work on position object. Work on means if any approvals or any request they want to handle it, yes, you can go and create. Select that object. See here, you can select the users. How many users? Again, public group users. Okay. But the intention of this queue is these queue users can work only for this object when you are creating a queue. Maybe this user may be there in some other queue also, but when you are referring this queue, that users in this queue are going to work on position object. So once you created a queue and keep it ready, you can assign to a queue also. Here you can search it. You will get some queue lists, available queue list. You can select any queue. Then what will happen? Whenever a record is created, automatically the request will go to the queue. In the queue, any one user can pick the record, then pick it and then do the approval. So there is some scenario, customer service, you will give a call, right? So anybody can pick the call. Whoever will pick the call, all are the same role. I mean, all are working for some dedicated purpose. So even this option also they are giving. You can use any one option. The final one is automatically assigned to single user. So you know that every time you should go for one user dedicatedly. So that user purpose is only to approve the records. Okay, so then go and give that user. Any one option suits for your business scenario, you can select it. So now I am selecting a single user. Every time it should go for one particular user. To whom it should go? It should go to CEO or CFO. Yes, it should go for CEO. Some optional two more features are there. Approve or reject based upon the first response. So if there are multiple levels, then whether it's approve or reject, then based upon the first approval it should get approved. Then in that case you can select this one. In case of multiple users, multiple approvers are there. No, requires unanimous approval from all selected approvers. Means everybody should approve. If there are 5 people are there, all the 5 should approve. Then only it will get approved. If anyone rejected, then it will be rejected. All these are the flexible options for us. It's not like you have to use all this. If your scenario is the first one, let's go for first. If not, go for second. Okay. So this is a place where you can assign multiple users. User 1, user 2, user 3. Save it.
Prakash, a quick question.
Yes, please.
When I send it to an approval group, say in my group I have 5 users, even if one person approves it, I want the system to assume that all 5 approve and proceed. Can we make that happen?
Correct. Yes, we can make it happen. So when you assign to the queue, right?
Okay.
So automatically from the queue, anybody can pick it. It's not like when you are assigning to a queue, that doesn't mean you are going to giving the option for all the users should be approved. No. When you are assigning to queue means from the queue, anyone can pick up and then approve it.
Okay, got it.
No, Prakash, if you want, I want to give for all the users, then all the users, you don't go for queue option, you will just go for multiple rows. Generally, real-time scenario approval maybe maximum you will get from 2, 3, 5 is very, very high. I mean, getting approval from 5 people means it's very rare situation. Yes, you can do that by using this one. Yes, so once it is done, I'm clicking OK. So Jumpstart is the best one. You can see in one view. So we are done with the creation of approval. Just approval process we created. We have not configured any actions, and we have not even activated it. Okay. So after that, you have to configure many actions. This place you have to concentrate more because this is the confusing part. See, we are done with the creation of approval process definition, and still it is not active. We have to make it active. And if you see, there will be actions, multiple actions in each and every step. So right now we have only one step. We are going to get only one step. You may not get more steps. But if you have multiple levels of approvals, then you have to configure each and every step. It's not like you have to configure. They will give an option. You want to explore it, you can do it. Yes. If you see first initial submission action. So first time when you submit for approval, what should happen? Whom should be, what action should be performed? Yes, you have multiple options here. You want to create a task, you want to create an email alert mentioning, hey, one record is submitted for you for approval, please look into that. Or you want to do some field update first time. Whenever a position is created, you want to change the status, some field status to pending approval. See, there is a field called pending approval. First time when you create a record, it should be open, not approved or something, or like it should be pending approval. Then yes, I want to configure it. Field update. You can write the name here. Any name. So what field to be updated? What field should be updated? You have an option here. You can go for any field. Status, right? This status. Update the status field to yes, available values. Pending approval. So because once you click for approval, then status is pending approval. Okay. Here we have the workflows, right? So whenever a field is changed, again you have to fire any workflow associated on this object. Then yes, you can select the step box. Re-evaluate the workflow rule after changing. We have created one action, initial submission. So if you have more actions, yes, you can create. Next one, approval steps. So the steps you can see here. Approver is this one, he needs to approve it. And final approval actions or final rejection actions and recall actions. So what if the record is approved, what should happen? What if the record is rejected? If you did not look into that approval record for a long time, you want to give a recall, right? Generally we'll recall if nobody responds back. So what were the recall actions? You can configure the recall actions over here. Rejection, approval actions. So you need more templates, in fact, actually, so to work on it. Why? Because then you can understand it very easily. So you can just create a simple template each and every time. Rejection, approval, recall template, and you can configure each and every. Approval, what if he approves? This is the name. Then what should happen? The field should be updated. Updated to what value? A specific value. What is it? Pending approval, open approved. Yes. If the record is open approved, then only those records are available for the employees, for the users basically who wants to join. Now final rejection. If it is rejected, what should happen? Field update. I'm configuring only through field update. So configuring email alert, if you work on email workflows, email alerts, the same email alert here also, the same thing. Rejected. Status. Next. Open approved. Closed, not approved. So if rejected, what should happen? It should, job should be closed and it should not be approved. Closed, not approved. Okay, recall action. If in case you want to make it recall, yes, you can even configure recall action. Now I configured two. One is initial submission, final approval, final rejection. Okay. Now you can see in the diagram form also how the entire flow, how it was. You can just check it in diagram. It looks like some flow chart. Yes. Entry criteria. This is the start. Then it will go here. It will check. Then initial submission. It will check what will happen. So if it is rejected, so entire flow you can see in one view. So final rejection, what should happen? Final approval, what should happen? Okay. So just for visualization how the entire flow, if it's a complex approval process, then it's difficult to analyze by seeing these steps sometimes. If you want to see it in one view in a picture form, you can just go with the view diagram. Now and then you can click activate. Click activate. Okay, so there are some checkbox over here. See, allow submitters to call approval request. So if this is checked, then only the person can recall the approval process. Even though if you configure, it won't work until unless if you check this one checkbox. Allow submitters to recall approval request. Fine, now we are done with the validation rule. We have activated it. Okay, remember we cannot delete a validation rule. There is some approval process. We can deactivate it just by clicking this button. Okay, now I will see how to test this application. So now to test this application, two users should be there. Why? Because you can't send the approval for you yourself when you create a record. You don't need of approval, right? In case of you. So we'll do one thing. We'll create a position record on behalf of other user context, and then we'll send it for approval. And as a system administrator, I will log in and I will approve the record. Okay. So I'm going to log in some other user. That's the position record. position. You can give any position over here. SFDC platform developer. So you can give anyone, doesn't matter, because workflow will the approval process will reset. Once you submit it for approval, it will reset. Okay. When you create first time, let it as new position. So this is the one. Minimum maximum pay 15 lakh, 25 lakhs. Okay, remaining fields are optional values. You want to fill it. Save. So I am creating one position record. Yes, I created it. So if any approval process is there on this object, then definitely you will see a section over here, approval history. So all the history related to this approval process you can see in this section. Now user needs to submit it for approval, then only the approval process will be filed. But whereas in case of validation rules and workflows, no, once you record created, automatically workflows will file. Just when you're creating the record, saving the record, or validation rules also will file. Okay. Just in only with the approval process, initiation user has to do manually. Only initiation. The remaining thing it will take care of that. So I am submitting for approval. Okay. So I in the sense the user logged in. Yes. Once you submitted for approval, see the record is in locked. Now you can't edit the record. Because once it is approved, then only the approved or rejected, then only the record will be unlocked. See, now see the history. You can check it. The status is pending, and now it's with actual approval assigned to so and so Prakash, and who is the actual approver? He is the approver. If there are multiple levels, then right now assigned to so and so person, the actual person is this one. So after this person is approved, it will go to the next person. Okay, status is pending. Now I will log out from this user now. So I logged out. So now I am system administrator, means I am the one who needs to approve. So when I logged in, so if you see on the home tab itself, first of all I have got some mails notifications, that is for sure. And if you see over here on the main page, you can see there is items to approve section. This is like a wall in FB. In Facebook we have a wall, right? This is similar to the same. We have some notifications, many notifications over here. Items to approve. I have to approve this record. Okay, and even if you see the so now once I approve this, we'll see what will happen. So I have an option here itself, approve or reject. And if I want to reassign to somebody, I can even reassign it. Approve or reject. I can mention. So it's a very high package, so I don't want to give this much package to this position. So I said no, I'm rejecting. You can give any comment. Our salary is too high, pay is too high. Then I can reject. Now the record is rejected. You can see the history over here. Now what you will do, you will update a value again to some other amount. So the record is also unlocked, and what you will do, you will log in again one more time. Actually, this time it won't fire the workflow. It should fire for greater than 20, right? So 22. Approval process 22. Okay. Now I will submit for approval again. Yes, it is for approval again. Will log out. No. Home. You can even see here itself. One more record itself. Approval result. This time I will approve. Then what will happen? The record is approved. Okay. I think there are multiple approval processes are there on this object. It's firing. I have not deactivated it. That is the reason. You are able to see multiple approvals, multiple approval rows here.
Can you do this multiple approval similar to a workflow? Instead of me saying I need approval, automatically it gets approved, goes to the approval process when I save the record?
No, automatically it should go. Definitely he needs to initiate it.
But if he needn't say go for approval, he can always say, okay, when I save it, go for the approval process, right?
No, you can't do that. That's what I'm saying. You cannot, as long as you save the record, it won't go for approval process. Approval process we have to initiate. We, in the sense, the record owner or some other person, needs to initiate the process by clicking the button, submit for approval button.
Okay.
Whereas workflows are automatically will fire, right? Automatically criteria met, then action will be performed. But in case of approval process, that cannot fire for approval automatically. We have to initiate the process by clicking the button. We, in the sense, either record owner, we can set the property, record owner or system administrators, anybody can send it for approval.
So in the workflow, can I do something similar to the approval process within the workflow if I want approval when I save it?
Workflows are different concept, approval process is different concept. So don't club two. Workflows are automatically should execute some actions. Okay, we have only 4 actions to perform in the workflow. That will be either sending an email alert, updating a field, or sending outbound message or creating a task. Those are the 4 actions. Okay? Approval process is it should undergo to some users where he needs to approve the record, then only the record will be active, then only the record will become valid. How can you say valid or not? Say for example, if any job position with status equal to open and then approved, then only that is a valid job position. Until that, this is not a valid. So how I can make that to valid? So definitely we have to create an approval process, and through approval process I have to set this field value to be updated. So through workflows we can't initiate the approval process. That's what I'm telling. Workflows are different concept, just to execute the action immediately. Approval process are to approve some certain records, then only those records will be valid records according to the business scenario. Then if you want to make it active or valid, we need to do some updates on any field and object. So that update part we will be handling through the approval process. Maybe the status field. So we are updating the status field through the approval process procedure.
Okay. I was thinking about a scenario that we do at work, and I was trying to see how we would do it here. That's it.
Through workflows we are telling? No, through workflows is not possible.
Okay. Okay then. Because we use that Microsoft Dynamics, and for us, it's like every time a claim comes in for more than 250, it has to go for an approval process. So it goes for approval, comes back, and then they say if it's more than 500, a district level manager has to approve it. It immediately goes. We don't ask it to go for the process. So that's why I was trying to see how we do it here.
Got it. So we have to initiate it by clicking the button.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have multiple approval processes on the same object, different process. So it is again started creating one more. Okay. So until here our job is done. So it's got approval. Okay. This is again new one is started initiating. So ignore about it. So you can even create the same approval process in some other objects, a line item, or generally we have the objects, right? Position, merchandise, line item, and invoice. So on the invoice, you can keep you can create a approval process on invoice object. So you can submit for approval that record, invoice record. So if the invoice, they will go through the invoice, and if they fine with the amount what they quoted, so what they will do, they will approve the invoice record. So once they approve, the status will be approved on the field. There is a pick list, right? So you can change the pick list field. You can proceed further. So to do the right thing, that object you can try it on this invoice statement for now. Yes. Here you can keep one button, submit for approval. So once you submit for approval invoice, then status will be changing. There is a close, negotiating. So once it's submitted, you can keep it to negotiating. Whether if he approves, then make it to closed. Okay, so this is about approval process. Actions you have to configure properly. That is the only important step in approval process. What should happen? You need more templates. 2 users are enough. One other user, one you. So you remember, you don't create for you yourself as approval. So if you create a record and you never be an approval, it will give a message. Approval record cannot be the same person as the submitter. So check with some other user, initiate the approval process, log in as you, approve it or reject it. Configure the actions properly. Initial approval, final rejection. First time reject, see the mails, alerts, and then see the field updates. Second time approve and see the mail alerts and field updates. Okay. Oh, yeah. So that's it for the day. We are done with the approval process also. So what the automation logics we have completed. Next step we can go for either reports or like data loading. 2 concepts are there. We can go for any concept. Okay. So we'll discuss tomorrow. If you don't have doubts, you can wind up for now.